This is CBS News, New York.
We continue our first alert weather team coverage in New Jersey, where a state of emergency has been declared. Nick Calloway is in North Plainfield, one of the places hardest hit last time from floods. Nick.
Yeah, Cindy, this area has been especially hard hit by storms over the last few weeks. This is Somerset Street here in North Plainfield, and as you can see, it is closed, and that's because it was washed out by floodwaters just a few weeks ago during a very big storm. Now, if you take a look back over this way, during that same storm, this doctor's office was completely swamped with floodwaters, and now, of course, they're watching the forecast and hoping that there's not more water.
The majority of the water breached this doorway here and was coming in this way, and cars were trying to get down the street and creating waves. So this door will be replaced with a flood-proof door.
Dr. Mark Silberman's office has been closed for weeks after floodwaters ravaged the property on Somerset Street. Prepare for more flooding in the future.
Tile the walls, get bathroom installed, get rooms ready to install new x-ray. They're coming later in the week to install a furnace that's going to be raised. So we're just preparing for the inevitable, which will be another storm, another flood one day.
Out back, manager Caitlin Anders is filling sandbags to prevent more flooding today. When she saw the potential for flooding in the forecast,
you panic. You go, oh God, this is going to happen again. And you don't want it because it's a lot of stress and a lot of extra effort just to save your business, save your second home.
And officials say localized flooding is possible, so for folks who live in low-lying areas like this one, they should take precautions. We're live in North Plainfield, New Jersey. Nick Calloway, CBS News, New York.
In New York City, Mayor Adams is reminding people who live in low-lying areas to be careful. He tweeted this morning saying, in part, anyone living in a basement at risk for flooding should move to higher ground early. Don't wait until flooding begins. And New York State's Office of Emergency Management says they're working closely with the city and MTA to help. Officials say the MTA has worked ahead to try to alleviate the risk of flooding in subways and is ready to jump into action if needed.
MTA is ready and able to respond quickly to any instance of that with pumps, generators, and other emergency equipment so that they can do their best to be responsive to any potential flooding.
Stay with CBS News New York as our meteorologists continue to track storms with flooding concerns. Look for our updates today throughout the afternoon and evening on air and streaming. And remember, you can track the weather on our radar down to your neighborhood. It's on our website, cbsnewyork.com. A sad day for the city as thousands are arriving to say goodbye to a fallen hero. Funeral services for NYPD officer Dirul Islam are underway in the Bronx. Officer Islam is being remembered as a devoted police officer, husband, and father, just weeks away from welcoming his third child. Naveen Dhaliwal is in Parkchester. Naveen.
Yeah, Cindy, as part of the Muslim tradition, there are two viewing ceremonies for the body, one for the women and one for the men, and both are just wrapping up in the past few minutes. And then there'll be a prayer services.
This is a First Alert Weather Special Report.
Hey there, First Alert meteorologist Scott Padgett. We have a tornado warning. That's why we are cutting in right now. Let's get right to the maps to show you where we have this tornado warning that's in effect until 2:15. You can see from Middlesex and Somerset counties, we do have this tornado warning until 2:15. This is indicated by the radar. We do not have a confirmation of this on the ground. Matt, if we could go ahead and move on to the velocity data there. We are looking at this. So when you're looking at this with me, and let's kind of scroll it back and forth if we can, Matt, where you see the reds and the greens together. Grab the time bar at the top there, Matt, and pull it back just a little bit. We're going to be able to see that red and the green together. And when you see that, this is where we have that tornado. So that brighter red and green that is together, you can see that still the potential to the southeast of Bridgewater is where we have it. Let's go and sample, as you can see, some of the winds within this area that is indicated by the radar. Now, where you see that -27, that's away from the radar. The greens are actually towards the radar, and the red is away from the radar. So right now it looks like broad rotation with this tornado tornado warning a little bit more. Let's go and clear those out if we can, Matt. Zoom our way down just a little bit more as we can on some of the brightest areas that we're looking at. So let's clear out those velocity indicators and zoom our way down just a little bit more. Right along 287 to the northwest of Edison. Actually, tighten up the picture is what I mean there, Matt, and move it up. Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it. So this is Middlesex, South Plainfield. I want you to be in the most interior room of your house possible, the lowest level possible. Get away from any windows, get away from any doors as well for you. Just get to that center portion of your house. Let's go ahead and track this if we can. If you want to switch back on over to reflectivity for one moment, let's get back to that. These are the flood alerts there. So we just have a couple of graphics here that we're looking at. So if you want to, you can see it's going to be really surrounded by a lot of rain. So as this is moving east around 20 miles per hour, this is what we're looking at. The whole entire area of the thunderstorm activity moving towards Newark around 214, Jersey City 230, and New York, Manhattan area, downtown city about 243. Let's clear that on out if we can, Matt. I want to go ahead and zoom down again, and let's track this area of rotation that I'm watching. If you want to go ahead and put this into motion just a little bit more, and as we zoom our way down, I know you're seeing a lot here on your screen. Let's take away those auto queries if we can. Pop that off, and I'm speaking to Matt. Matt is our weather producer back in the weather office. So let's go ahead and unclick the weather, those auto queries, if we can. Take that out, and now let's zoom our way down a little bit more, if we can. Let's tighten up that picture. No, actually, let's go to the tornado warning, if we can still, Matt. Tighten up that picture. Down, it's going even more, right where it says 287. And then move that picture up just a little bit. All right, so you can see there between Plainfield and where it says 287, there's a little bit of what we call a hook echo. So what I'm looking at this with me, and let's go ahead and track that area if we can, Matt, as that specific area is moving to the east. No, not there, Matt. Let's actually track the hook echo area if we can. Clear that out, if you don't mind. And then we are going to see, let's clear that on out. I want to track the hook echo area. And as we are looking at that hook echo area, let's clear out that track if we can, Matt. Real fast. Go back to that real quick. And I'm going to work my way from the newsroom here. And if you guys hear me, I'm going to work my way into our studios right now to be able to give you a little bit more indication. So as I'm working way over there, you can see that we have this tornado warning that remains in effect. This is, again, is for parts of Middlesex County. Again, let's clear out those auto queries if we can. And I'm going to walk my way into the studio right now. So if you hear that echo, this is what we're looking at for right now. All right. So here we are. And thanks for bearing with us, because we had the potential of these strong to severe storms through the day today. So this is the area that we're looking at a little bit more. So what I want you to do, Matt, if we can now, zoom back down to where we have that hook echo. If we can, a little bit more. Let's tighten up that picture a little bit more. And as we tighten up that picture, this is what I was mentioning to you. So right in this area, so where you see how this kind of notch looks like it's kind of coming in, this is south and west of Plainfield. So south and west of Plainfield, this is the area of rotation I'm a little bit more concerned about. This is the area, Matt, that I want you to track. From this area that I'm pointing at right now, this is where it's moving east at about 20 miles per hour. So as that is moving east at about 20 miles per hour, here are some of the approximate arrival times. Avon Park about 9 minutes after 2. Lynn Wood Oaks about 2:30. Now remember, this tornado warning is until 2:15. This is indicated by the radar. We don't have any confirmation of this on the ground, but this is what we're looking at. Woodbridge, if this holds together at 2:46, and Linden 2:59. Let's clear that on out if we can. I want to go ahead and zoom our way down just a little bit more. So this is the area I'm a little bit more concerned about. Here's Plainfield, here's Middlesex. So between Plainfield and Middlesex, as we zoom our way in just a little bit more, right near South Plainfield, I want you to go ahead and get into the lowest level of your house, the most interior room possible. Let us do the tracking for you. Let us do the look outside for you. I know when you have this happening, you're thinking, I want to look outside. Don't do that. You want to go ahead and get to that most interior room possible, because this is what I'm concerned about right here. This is an indication to me of some rotation a little bit more for us. So there's Greenbook, there is Middlesex. Let's switch back over to that velocity picture if we can, Matt. And when you look at this, all right, so let's zoom our way down a little bit more. Here are the strongest winds showing up, right? There's Middlesex. Let's sample some of these winds between South Plainfield and Middlesex. Let's sample some of these winds right now. And you can see, look at that, 73 mile per hour winds away from the radar, which the radar is down here towards the south and the east. Let's sample. I'm not sure if we hit that blue one or not. If we can, Matt, if that was the one you sampled, just hop in my ear. All right, that's the 73 mile per hour one, and then 40. So we do have that rotation. And as we move some of those indicators out, great, you're in my mind there, Matt. This is when you see this really close together. Now, you notice that we just had kind of an update as we move some of those velocity, indicators. That's now picking up on some of the velocity in different areas. Let's clear those on out if we can. Thanks so much, Matt. If you can grab the Illustrator tool, I want to draw a line right in this area is what I'm looking at right now. All right, so you see the latest scan that just happened. Let's zoom back out if we can. Just a little bit more for us. Let's widen out that view if we can. Just a little bit more, Matt, if you can. Thank you so much. So you notice that the latest scan that just came in, that brighter blue dot that you saw, that was an indication of some of the stronger winds. Now that latest scan has shown me that we're still dealing with these intense winds. And as we look in this area right now near Middlesex, northwest of 287 and south west of South Plainfield, that's the area of concern for me right now. This might be a little bit more broader rotation. What I want you to do is grab that time slider at the top, Matt, and pull it back by like one frame or two. And the reason I'm doing this right there. All right, so let's scroll. This is the area. So you see these brighter greens and this blue next to each other. This is what we call a couplet. When you see this, that indicates to me that we have that tighter rotation that is happening. So that's why the National Weather Service has issued that tornado warning. Now, you notice on that latest scan, maybe as it's shifted its way to the east a little bit more, let's circle this area. That indicates that we might have seen some of those winds come down just a little bit, but that doesn't mean that we're not still dealing with his concern. Here we are about 5 minutes after 2 on our first alert radar. This tornado warning, at least at latest indication, still goes until 2:15. So let's go ahead and widen out the view a little bit. And when you see this, all right, pause right there if you can, Matt. When you see this, that right there to me is what's called an inflow notch. What that means is we have winds that are coming into this system, being pulled in, very tropical moisture, and then that's kind of rotating its way around. So when you look at this, that is what is an indicator to me of an inflow notch. This is that indication there as also that potential hook echo. So all of this area looks like it is rotating right now. So that's why we're concerned. Here's that latest scan showing up a little bit more. So you notice as we put that into motion, yeah, thanks so much for doing that, Matt. We are dealing with this relatively well-defined inflow notch, and we are dealing with this hook echo. So, all right, so giving you some perspective of that. This is still moving to the east at about 20 miles per hour. And Matt, if you get in my ear, let me know if that forward speed has changed at all. We want to track this for you. If you live in Woodbridge, if you live in Edison, I want you to pay attention right now. Let's track this area of the inflow notch and that rotation as it is moving east. And I think about the last check was 15 to 20 miles per hour. I'm going to step out for a second, grab my phone here so I can take a look at also the latest indication coming from the National Weather Service on this tornado warning. So it's still in effect for about another 7 minutes. Again, moving its way east at 20 miles per hour is the latest information. So it's going to be in South Plainfield around 2:15. So here we are now at 7 minutes after 2 on the first alert radar. Here's 2:26 North Edison, Linwood Oaks about 2:39 if this holds together. Colonia about 2:49 if this holds together. So let's switch back on over. And that's a great track, Matt, that you did there. We're able to narrow that window down a little bit more because this is the area of concern that we're looking at. So on this same picture, let's switch on over to that velocity. Great job of hitting that velocity tool there. So for me, as I'm analyzing this, and let's give this a loop of the last, just maybe it's the last hour or so, we'll be able to see this. But you can see that the rotation looks like it's broadened out just a bit. I want to move the picture up a little bit because we're dealing with our bug here as well. And you notice that it looks like it's now moving a little bit more east-southeast to me. Here's where we had the stronger winds showing up. So now this is more of a broader rotation. So what that indicates to me is, yes, we're still looking at a storm that is rotating a bit, but that tightness of maybe that tornado coming down or touching the ground has weakened a bit. All right, let's pause this. And Matt, if we can, pause it now. I want to go ahead and sample some of these winds right here. Northeast of 287, northwest of Edison. Now noticing those brighter colors showing up again. So again, it's that broader rotation right in this area, southeast of South Plainfield. If we can sample some of those winds, we'll be able to see what we're dealing with as far as the stronger winds are concerned. Not a surprise. So you look here at the legend here, and it says towards and away from the radar. Now remember, the radar side is more down towards the south and the east. So these winds that are showing up for us, possibly dealing with maybe 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. If that, Matt, is not indicating or popping up for you, go ahead and go back to the one velocity scan that I had saved in my show, and then maybe I'll try to sample that just a little little bit more if that's popping up. If not, all right, we're going to go back to it just a little bit more. So, and again, it is a working weather center for us, and working with what is happening right now. So I'm speaking to my producer Matt in the First Alert Weather Center. So this is what we're looking at. All right, if we can get that to sample a bit more, and if we can't, pop in my ear, let me know, Matt. All right, we're having some issues getting that tool up, but I'll be your tool for you. I'll let you know what's going on. So let's zoom our way down a little bit more. And as we zoom our way down just a bit more, this is where we're dealing with some of the stronger winds now. All right, there's Middlesex, here's South Plainfield. So again, where you see these brighter colors with me, that's an indication of the more intense winds. All right, there we go. So 6 miles per hour there, sampling some of that. I'm not sure if we hit a purple or not. 4 miles per hour, nothing really of too much of a concern in that area. So let's go to widen out the view if we can a little bit more. And as we do this, again, the tornado warning still continuing. Let's see if they're going to extend this past 2:15. Not any, don't have another indication from the National Weather Service. Again, it's about 4 more minutes, so we're underneath this tornado warning. And Matt, behind you is the weather chat that I have open if you want to look over there to see if they have an update at all. All right, so this is the area that we're watching right now. All right, still 2:15. Let's clear that on out if we can. Those velocity indicators. As we clear that out, and I want you. All right, the system, our weather computer said, nope, I don't want to deal with a tornado warning, so we're going to have to switch on over to the other Max computer control room if we can. So we're going to work on this. I'm going to step into the weather center as well, but just still listen to what I'm talking about. And you can see that we are dealing with these stronger winds that are still the concern with this tornado warning that is holding together. So as it is holding together, I still want you to pay attention to what's happening right now for us. And I'm back here in the weather center, seeing if they're going to continue this tornado warning or not. All indications is that it's more of a broader rotation that's happening right now. We also, on top of that, do have a severe thunderstorm warning continuing for Union and Essex County, but this is the tornado warning area that we were looking at. And if we've switched on over, we can. It looks like we're switching over just a little bit to the other computer. Right, we've done so. Great job there, producers and control room. I appreciate this. And if we have any live pictures outside, potentially looking off towards the west to even see if we have these storms popping up, let me know. All right, so we've zoomed our way down a little bit more. You can see all the lightning with this as well on this satellite and radar picture combined. So let's go ahead and pop off the lightning if we can. I want to zoom my way down, and let's just give this the last maybe hour or so, if we can, of this loop. Maybe even the last 30 minutes, and get tighter on that picture for me. All right. That's what it looks like that we've seen. And let me know if we have the other computer back up and running. That'd be great if we do. All right. Just came back up. So if we can. Thank you, control room. You guys are fantastic. So again, working weather center, and we really just peel back the curtains. You understand how we are tracking this storm, how we are keeping you and your family safe. So it is a first alert weather day for us for the potential of strong to severe storms. We still have this tornado warning at least until 2:15. So if we can get back to that velocity picture, that really helps me tell the story a bit more. And this is the area that I'm watching right in here. You can see, I know there's a lot that's showing up here on the screen. Let's zoom our way down a little bit more. And if you want, now, guys in the First Alert Weather Center, pop off the warning polygons because great job. So this is what we're looking at. Pop off also the filled in ones so that we can really see this picture a little bit more. So great. Thanks so much. So this is a velocity that we're looking at. And as we pull it back just a little bit more with that time slider at the top, that's what we'll be able to see. If you want to pop off the radar as well underneath it. I can kind of see that kind of coming through. For me, the rotation actually has broadened out just a bit more. So this is where we're looking at. Still South Plainfield, that inflow notch still is there. Not as well defined as what we saw a little bit earlier. So let's grab that slider at the top. All right, we have video coming out of North Plainfield. Live pictures, that is. All right, let's go and take that. All right, so here we are. This is one of our units out now, right? This is in North Plainfield. You can see a lot of the heavy rain. So this is also something that is concerning. Whenever you have heavy rain like this and you're trying to track a tornado, you can't see it. It's going to be wrapped by rain. So that's why we're doing the tracking for you. We do have our first alert units out there. Look at all of the heavy rain with this. On top of dealing with this tornado warning, this potential tornado indicated by radar, we're also dealing with flash flooding. We are dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning. So damaging wind gusts also cannot be ruled out. Again, you can see a lot of the heavy rain, people out and about. You notice as you're looking at me here in this box as well, as we're looking at this loop, look how bright those colors colors were. And you're looking at the velocity data here. When you look at this, that is that those bright greens and those bright reds together, that indicates really intense winds. But you notice over the last couple of scans, a lot of that has gotten a little bit lighter. It is weakened. So it's a sign to me that I think the rotation maybe not as well defined anymore. We're seeing this tapering off just a little bit more. However, still the radar indicated the reflectivity. And what I mean by reflectivity is that the radar beams are bouncing off of these raindrops that are out there. Where you see the brighter red colors and the yellow colors, that indicates the heavier rain. So this is where we're looking at right now for still some of that broad rotation that is showing up. We are just a few seconds away from 2:15. I'm not sure if we're going to see this extended past the 2:15 hour. So, let me know if they have actually canceled that tornado warning or not, or they're going to allow that to expire. All right, it has been allowed to expire. So that was that indication that I was noticing as well, that they have not extended the tornado warning downstream even more. Control room, let me know what you want me to do here as far as our coverage here. All right, we're wrapping it up, but make sure you stay with us here in the First Alert Weather Center on this First Alert Weather Day. Of course, Lonnie, myself, will have more coming up today at 5 and 6 o'clock. But of course, stay with us right here. And don't forget, always, you can find us on CBSNewYork.com.
This has been a First Alert Weather Special Report.